Hello, YouTube. My name is Vicky, and I am your natural therapist. Um, and what I mean by that is I am natural. I've been natural for 4 years now. Well, actually, it'll be 4 years in February, which is next month. This is January 2012, and I will be 4 years in January 2012. I only been locked for 1 year and 7 months, so woohoo for that! I'm so excited. I've really been influenced and encouraged and educated by you guys at YouTube. I really appreciate you guys for coming in here, taking time to share your experience and educate us. Some of you guys, it seems as if you just read my mind. You knew what to say, you know when to say it. I'm glad I came across it because it really helped me on my natural journey. At this moment, I'm here to talk to you a little bit more about what I do. I am a therapist. Um, I'm here in the Dallas area, and I work with all type of people, regardless of whatever it is you're going through. I have worked with you, whether it's schizophrenia. Those are people that may hear things or see things. It's kind of hard for them to distort reality from, hallucinating, seeing things that other people may not see. Then you can be bipolar. Bipolar is, you have the tendency from going to being very sad to being very happy. It's just like, your mood switch for no reason. You can be happy and all of a sudden you're upset. And sometimes you may not understand it yourself. Sometimes you may be real low and sometimes, you may be real high. You want to do a lot. And some bipolar feature even also, even have psychotic features where you are hallucinating and seeing things. And it's probably, because you're not sleeping, you're not getting enough sleep and things like that. Also, people that have substance abuse substance, alcohol, drugs, those that are depressed, and suicidal and things like that. Also, people that have personality normally occurs from people who had a traumatic experience, as a child, especially someone may molested you, or it's your body way of protecting yourself. And in order to protect yourself, these different personalities were created, even though we're all one. And as we all have different sides to us, but sometimes those sides are split and you don't know how to bring them back together. So, you know, personality disorder. I work with people that may suffer from dementia, the older people, Alzheimer's disease, provide supportive therapy to them and their family. Um, and I, even youth, have defined behavior and things like that. I have worked with a lot of people, and I really, really, really enjoy what I do. Um, I end up I got my bachelor degree from University of Southern Mississippi. Woohoo, USM, Hattiesburg. That's where Brett Favre went to school. And I got my bachelor degree from there in psychology. And I met my husband there also. And from there, he ended up getting drafted. He went to the league. And the city that picked him up, or the team that picked him up, was Indianapolis Colts. And so we moved there. And it was there where I ended up getting my master's. I went to Indiana University, Purdue University in Indianapolis, which is IUPUI. And I ended up getting my master's in school counseling. And I really, really enjoyed working as a school counselor. I worked at an urban school setting. I was a high school counselor. And my passion there was to really work with unprivileged kids in the urban area, because the dropout rate is so high. And I really wanted to, work with those kids and motivate them, encourage them to, take that challenge and go to college. A lot of us that comes from that type of area, we don't go to college because we're not familiar with the resource. Even though it's there, we're still not familiar with it. But there's financial aid, there's different programs that school offer kids in those type settings so that they can help them, pilot them, guide them while they're in college so that they can graduate and be successful and go back in that community and do the same thing, grab someone else's hand and take them along the way so that we can better ourselves and better our community. Um, while I was doing that, I was working with kids on an individual basis, as needed or weekly basis. And the thing that frustrated me was, when I'm working with these kids, they go home for the weekend or they go home over the break and there's no support there. And so everything we work hard toward, it seems like, when they come back, we start back at point A. So I really wanted to involve the family. And in the school setting, you're not able to do that because we have other obligations also, like the testing and making sure they're in the right class and the right schedule. So I decided to take up community, wanted to be working in the community. So I ended up getting my entering an EDS program in Indiana, at Indiana University in Bloomington. And I graduated from there. Where I finished in August 2010. The thing about that is, in order to actually get the degree, I had to pass the test, and I passed the test, but I haven't sent my information over, so I actually don't have the EDS degree, which is, it's a year over a master's, and it's 2 years below a doctorate. So if I was to go back to Indiana University and apply for that program, and get in the doctorate program, I would have a year, 2 years to complete my doctorate instead of the entire 3 years. So that's a great thing. That's an option that I am looking at. But I don't know where God is going to lead me. If I'm here in the Dallas area, it would be impossible to do that. But just thankful that there is an option there. So I ended up doing that so that I would be able to work with the family in the community. And after I graduated, I ended up coming here to Dallas. So I ended up taking the exam, NCE exam, National Counselor exam, and I am LPC, which is Licensed Professional Counselor Intern. I have 3,000 hours, supervised hours to complete before I'm able to drop the intern and just have my LPC license. So I am so excited. And since being here, I worked at psychiatric hospitals, and I'm working in an outpatient program, where I conduct group and individual as needed. I also have clients that I see also individually, and I really, really love what I do. The type of therapy that I offer is cognitive behavior therapy, and it's basically, we really believe that your behavior, your emotions is influenced by your thoughts. So we try to help you turn that stinky thinking into positive thinking. Basically, I have a cup here, okay? And in this cup, I would ask you, how do you view this cup? Do you view this as half empty or half full? Now, my goal, well, healthy thinking, you would view this as half full, because regardless of whatever the situation you're going through, you always look at it in a positive way. You always look at the positive things in your situation. And that has always been a philosophy for me throughout my life, and I think that's what helped me to overcome my situation, my childhood. I was adopted. Well, not adopted, I'm sorry. I was placed in foster care. I was taken from my mother. We stayed in the project, and my mother was poor, and she wasn't able to provide for us. And of course, everybody saw it at school. They saw it in the community. So they called, and I remember I was in class, and I'm gonna really go into this on another setting, but I'm just gonna be real quick. But I'm gonna really talk about that because it's something that's real dear to me, and it has a lot to do with where I'm at in life and why I choose the things that I choose and done the things that I've done. But anyway, they took me. I was in the 4th grade, so here I am, 8 years old, and they, called me to the office, and there was these two people here that I didn't know. There were, two white people. Here I am, this little black girl from the project, and you're taking me away from my family. I'm not able to see them. I don't know what's going on. I'm afraid, and you put me in this house, and I didn't know these people. And in this house, they had like 6, 7, 8 more kids, and it was not in the same city that I was raised in. It was like in the outskirt, the country part of Mississippi. Everybody think Mississippi is a big country, but it's not. There are some cities in Mississippi, but I stayed in the city part of it. So they took me, and I was on a farm, and I was very unfamiliar with living on a farm. All these animals I'm afraid of because I never seen a horse, only on TV, a cow and all that. And here I am, have to go out there where they are and, pick peas and stuff like that. So it was very different. It was like a culture shock to me. And then, it was traumatic because you took me from my family whom loved me. I know they didn't have the means to provide for me, but they did love me. And so the good thing about it is I knew God. So when I was there, my mom taught me how to pray. I said the Lord's Prayer, and I looked in the mirror. I remember looking in the mirror, and I was like, it's going to be okay. I just knew it. And of course, God, Jesus guided me back to my aunt who took care of me from that point on. And, a little of my work history. I ended up working as a case manager at a foster care agency, and it was very dear to me because I really could relate to the kids being pulled out of their home and trying to find their place in other people's home and other people's family, and not feeling love, and looking at their family and not liking the way their family was or the way their family treated them or whatever, and taking it out on the world and taking it out on themselves and giving up on themselves. And so, my point was to educate them and to be some type of support for them and guidance for them so that they can make a difference in their future. And I wanted them to know that I was a foster child, but I took control of my future. And because I was a foster child, it didn't mean that I stayed in that cycle where I end up having kids and I stayed in the project or was poor and my kids end up being taken away from me. I ended up going to college, I ended up getting married, and I'm living a wonderful life, and I wanted them to see that they have options. We all have options, regardless of what type of life you live. We have options. No one can control you. No one can determine your destiny. Only you. And so that's one thing that I promote when I'm in counseling, when I'm working with you. It's not the counselor that makes the difference. It's not the counselor that changes you. It's you. You're the one that make the change within yourself. You make it up in your mind, and I'm here to collaborate with you, to work with you as you make it to whatever your goal is. So yeah. So again, when I'm working with clients and everything, I don't judge them. I respect everyone. I expect for them to do their part because I'm gonna definitely do my part. I'm definitely there for you. And while I'm on YouTube, I would like to utilize it by coming on and going over topics that can be helpful because it's really hard out here in this world right now. This world really needs love. It needs to be nurtured. It needs to be comforted because we are going through a lot. And I think we have gotten away from caring about the other person. We're so into ourselves and trying to take care of ourselves and make sure we're okay, but we don't understand the indirect effect that it has on us. We may be okay, but when the world is hurting, the world is going to come back at us. The crime rate may go up, a lot of things that can affect us indirectly. And there was a story that I remember, and this really what made me want to take that call and stand up and advocate and be a part of making our world a better place. I remember, I think I was in history or economics, I don't know, but it was a story about, it was in a foreign country, and there was this little boy and little girl, they had to walk miles to go to school. And when they went to school, I remember they came home one day and they was telling their father, these bandits of kids, they were attacking this other kid and we got to go help him. The father said, no, you don't do anything. You and your kid, when you see that, you walk away, you turn your cheek, you go the other direction. That's not your business. You come straight home. And and the little boy was bothered by it, and days went by, years went by, whatever. And one day the little girl came home, so the father was like, where's your brother? And she said, Dad, they attacked him, they killed him. Who? And she said, those same people we were telling you about. So to me, that spoke volume to me. It was like, you can't walk away. You can't turn your ear to something. When something is happening that's not right to another person and you don't do anything about it, then not doing something is doing something. Letting something be undone, go undone, you're actually doing something because it's going to happen regardless if you take action or not. But I think, we need to step in at some point, because if you don't, whatever they're going through, whatever is affecting them, it's going to affect you indirectly one day. This poor child that was poor and that wasn't educated or whatever, he may find a life of crime and end up one day coming back and killing you or someone you love because that's his own way of surviving. Not saying it's right, but I think as human, we are supposed to care about someone else, stand up for what's right, do something. So yeah, that's why I really got into counseling, because I really want to make a difference. And it feels rewarding when I'm sitting down and I'm working with someone, because working with others, it also helps me. It helped me to realize that I need to be more appreciative. It helps me to realize my wrong ways and my wrongdoing, and it helps me to be stronger because, I'm dealing with people who go through so much in life, and the fact that they're going through what they're going through and they're still standing, it just encouraged me to be strong. So I really look forward to talking to you guys, and I really thank you for taking time to listen to me. If you have any question, inbox me. If you want to work with me, inbox me, give me your information. I'd be more than happy to work with you. I have a Skype account. We can Skype, we can talk on the telephone. If you're in the Dallas area, look me up. I have a page on Psychology Today. My name is Vicki Walls, and it was a blessing speaking with you. You guys take care. Love you.